It is draft season for all of us, including the Suns, who do have a pick in this year's draft. So we're tapping in with draft expert Ben Pfeifer. Ben, let's dive right into the fun stuff. The 47th pick in the second round of the 2026 draft. When you look at the back end of this draft, do you have names that you think the Suns should specifically target?
Yeah, of course I do. I love this because I spend most of my time on podcasts around this year talking about the same 15 to 20 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I do appreciate this. Thanks, y'all. But I think there's going to be some decent options, at least based on the consensus board. But my favorite player who's generally mocked around that area is Bruce Thornton, Ohio State guard. He is a weirdo in like the best way possible. He's like 6 foot with the 6'4", 6'5" wingspan, 230, built like an absolute brick house, and was one of the most efficient players in the draft, full stop, despite being as short as he is. Like exceptional mid-range touch, exceptional three-point shooting touch, great coming off like curl screens and pin downs. I think would work really well as like a complementary offensive option next to Booker or whoever in like handoff action. He's great at that. And then he defends really well too for his size. Like very strong, long wingspan, disrupts passing lanes. A guy who is getting, mocked in like the 45 beyond, who I think should be going way higher. So that's my first name off the top of my head for like a sleeper in that range, who I think would be great with Phoenix, but also just with like pretty much anybody.
How do you feel about Baba Miller?
I'm a big fan of Baba Miller. That's another one who I don't know if he'll be there at 47 or wherever the Suns pick. But if he is, I think that'd be awesome. I mean, he's an awesome player, has improved so much over the last 4 years. Like when he came into college, he was just like a skinny, like handling wing who didn't really do much, but he's turned into like a really good defensive player, great short roll, connective passer. The shooting and the scoring are definitely questions with him, but that's why he's going in the second round, and not even higher. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Baba as like a connective tissue piece on offense and someone who can really defend the ball. He's got really quick feet, smooth lateral mover, had some really great defensive moments when they played AJ DeBansa this year at BYU, among other players. So yeah, I love Baba. I'd be super happy with that for pretty much any team in the second round.
Now, Ben, as exciting as 47 is, there's been some smoke that the Suns could try to trade into the first round. If they do, what type of first round talent do you think the Suns should target in this year's draft?
Yeah, I think the main reason that I'd be trading up into the first round is, at least from my perspective, if some of these like really talented guards who fall in the draft just because there's so many of them, like the main one that comes to mind for me is Ibuka Corey, Stanford guard, who is 25th on the consensus board, which to me is crazy low. This whole situation with Ibuka Corey screams like Tyrese Maxey all over again. Not just that they have similarities, shorter, not true point guard with truly special burst and explosiveness. Corey's a gifted scorer, and I think I think the Suns, who did such a good job, I think Jordan Ott did such a good job this year, like getting the most out of the talent. But to take the next step with this team, you're going to need more like creation juice, more instant offense off the bounce. And I think Corey is a player who I have like a clear lottery grade on and then have for quite some time. And if he's available, 25, 26, and maybe it costs you like a couple second round picks or maybe like a future first to move up, I'd probably hit that button and go for that because I think Corey is a pretty special player. But even for players like if like a Christian Anderson, like a Bennett Sturts, someone like that falls, I think those are the players I'd probably be targeting in a potential trade up situation.
I'm glad you mentioned Ibuka Corey because that's definitely probably the top guy I'm hoping that they can get their hands on if they do get to the first round. Just because, like you said, he's a lot lower than I feel like his talent and potential suggests that he could be.
Ben, has been great talking to you about the second round, about the Suns rookies going into their sophomore year. And for our diehards, we're going to get a little bit more into the top of the draft and what they could expect with some other draft breakdowns. But before we do that, I just want you to let people know where they can find your work.
Yeah, for sure. Everything I do, whether it be on my Twitter, which is just BJPF_, or my YouTube channel, which is just my name, doing mock drafts, big boards, interviews, film breakdowns, have a bunch of exciting stuff that I'm excited to be producing and to keep going until draft day, which is what, like 20 days away, which is crazy. I'm just looking at my calendar right now. But
Mhm.
yeah, just follow me on Twitter or on YouTube, and everything I do will be there.